Hi guys, so in this video I am going to be showing you guys how I bleached and dyed this 360 wig from Rosabeauty hair. I hope you guys enjoy this video and leave your comments below. So first I'm going to brush out the wig. I want to make sure that there are no kinks in it and that I can have a smooth application of the bleach. So the box dye I will be using is from Kiss. It's Express Color. The color is Platinum, and it comes with the bleach and the developer in the box. As you can see, I'm just pouring the bleach into the plastic container, which also came in the box. And then after you pour the bleach into the container, you are going to want to pour the developer. I typically, well, during this one, I just kind of eye measured it. So I don't know the exact measurements, but it's usually you want to get it to a consistency where it's smooth, and not like cakey or powdery or anything like that. You kind of want to just smooth like I have it in this video, how it's like easy to move around and everything. Now you can clearly tell that this isn't going to be enough bleach for the entire wig, so later you'll see me mix regular bleach and everything, but this is just what came in the box, so I'm going to use this first. Now that I'm done mixing it, I'm going to part the wig. I'm going to try to get as straight of line as possible, but I mean, honestly, it's not necessarily that big of a deal, because it's not gonna always part perfectly, especially depending on how the wig is made, as you can see, because right now I'm having a little bit of trouble getting like this perfect line that I was trying to get. So you don't have to get a perfect line, but just try to get as straight a line as possible. So now it's time to apply the bleach. I'm a little bit out of frame, but I will correct myself. When you apply the bleach, you want to apply it first from end to the root, just because the way that I have to do it, that's how they kind of do it in like the hair salons and, you know, whatever. But yeah, you have to work your way up when you're bleaching like this. And then once you're done bleaching the strand, I kind of just brushed it a little bit, just to make sure that the bleach got through all of the curls, because it's a high density wig. And then you wrap the hair in aluminum foil and you let it sit and process for about 45 minutes, but I have to do this with the whole head. So let's continue. So like I said, I was going to run out of bleach, so I'm going to use this BW bleach from the beauty supply. You can find it at any beauty supply really. And then I used 30 developer instead of 40, just because I didn't want to completely ruin the hair. And again, I measured on this, but the same principle applies. You want it to be a nice consistency, not too watery, but not too thick either. Throughout some of this, you'll be able to see the bleach already starting to lighten some of the hair, even as I continue to go up the strand. That just means that the bleach is working, which I find kind of awesome because it's kind of like a transformation before your eyes type thing. And depending on how thick your hair or wig is, you might not need to make as much bleach. I ended up having to make a lot of bleach because of how thick this wig is and how curly it is. But it all depends on the type of hair that you have. this is a very long process, you guys. So if you're going to do this, be prepared to spend almost your entire day doing this, because I think I started at like 2 p.m. that day and I didn't finish until about, I want to say like 10, 11 o'clock. I actually finished washing the wig and everything else. Like, it literally is a process to do this. Throughout this, I did check the bottom ones just to make sure they didn't over process. because I did start with those first. And like I said, this is very time consuming, no matter how fast you try to go. But then again, it was my first time, so of course I'm probably going to be slower than a professional. Now that I'm done with this one, I'm going to check the rest of them just to make sure that none of them are like over processed, or just to check their progress in general. So now that I'm done bleaching it, this is the final product of the bleach. Now it's time to dye it. I'm gonna try to go platinum gray here, but as you can see, it didn't really turn out that way, but just continue to watch the video. I just put the color mix in that container and I'm going to part the hair. I didn't really like the way the dye looked because, as you can see, it looked blue. I'm going to apply the dye the same way I applied the bleach. That's from tip to the root. And then I'm just going to let it hang there. had like 4 bottles of this dye because this wig is just that thick. You want to make sure you distribute the color evenly throughout the hair because you don't want discoloration in your hair. You want your hair to be an even color. So this was the final product. I didn't really like it, so I went and bleached it again. I'm not going to show you that process, but this is what it looks like after I went and bleached it one more time. And as you can see, it is a lot lighter. It's actually a really nice blonde color. I was debating on if I even wanted to dye it again in the first place. So because it dried overnight, I'm spraying it because the directions on the bottle call for the hair to be damp. The dye I'm using is from Wella, and the color is Pale Ash Blonde. I decided not to do platinum because with black hair, it's kind of hard to do that without completely destroying the hair. But this dye you have to mix with 20 developer, and it tells you on the box that you have to do 1 part dye, 2 parts developer, and 1 whole bottle is considered 1 part of the dye. So I had to use 3 bottles for this, but yeah. and it comes out in like a clear color, but it gets darker as it sits, like as you continue to put it through the hair. But that's what the woman at Sally's told me would happen. She said it would get darker before it got lighter, so not to worry about that. So I am relaying that message to you guys as well. You can see how the dye and the hair is like a kind of grayish looking color. That means that it is working. So I ended up cutting out a lot of the video because I was blocking the camera during some of those parts, and I didn't realize it until I went to edit. But I mean, it's nothing different than what I was doing before. You're just evenly distributing the dye throughout the hair, and I also will go through it with my fingers, and I do that because I'm making sure that I'm getting dye on all parts that I want the dye on. And when I did go through it with my fingers, I did find a few places where I ended up having to put some more dye because I didn't quite get it with the brush. So this is what it looks like after I washed it. I think it turned out really well. I don't know if you can really tell the color difference, but there definitely was a difference in the color. So this is what it looks like after I styled it. I think it turned out pretty well. If you have any feedback at all, feel free to leave it in the comments below. And the cookie having me stuck. You know just how to keep me up. You know it better.